Hey guys, welcome back to Moko Talks. My name is Moko, and tonight we're going to be talking about Black Myth Wukong, the upcoming action role-playing game developed and published by Game Science. This game has been anticipated for quite a long time now. I think it's first was announced to be in development about like 5-7 years ago. I'm not sure about the timing, but we're all very excited about it, and we were waiting for this game to finally come out. But it was like it started like a pipe dream for a lot of the community, because it was the very first being developed by like one developer, and then it grew more and more and more for it to be now announced and the release date has been announced for August 20th 2024. Now the game is inspired by the classical Chinese novel Journey to the West, which depicts the story about Sun Wukong, a stone monkey that is being raised and nurtured by the five elements of the world, and about his exploits going throughout China, and his trials that he faced throughout his journey. This is a very, very nice concept, and a lot of I think a lot of media has been depicted based on this novel. I think Dragon Ball Z is one of them, if memory serves correct. I'm not sure, but I do think it is. So why are we talking about this game? Why are we making a video about it? What's going on? As you can tell from the title of this video, a lot of game journalists have been going after this developer. Again, they're going after the game, they're attacking it in all cylinders, in every different level, every different size. It's absolutely disgusting from what I'm looking at right now, and to be honest, this has to stop. Seriously, like, if you don't like something don't align with what you believe in, then just fucking let it go, dude. I'm so sick and tired of looking at these people bitch, moan about subjects and media and games that are objectively good and have an insanely good concept, and just bashing it to the ground because it just doesn't go with what they want or what they deem as very nice or very good, which is mostly garbage and shitty games. As you guys can tell, like, this game has been developed by a Chinese company. All right, it's not from the West, it's from the East, and the Chinese have different belief, and the whole Asian culture is insanely different than the American culture, I would say, or the Western culture, if you want. And the Western culture is now very, very shallow in comparison to the Asian culture, so they don't understand why we do things the way we do, why we believe the things that we believe, or in our culture is saying it is what it is right now. And if they see something coming from the East, they are ready at the handle to fire at all cylinders. They want this game to fail, but as always, it backfires in their faces, like a lot of other games, such as Ghost of Tsushima. Now, why am I talking about this right now? Well, I'd say it's better to show you than, just talk about it. Sorry, excuse me. So, Screen Rant published this article today. Black Myth Wukong review: the Souls-like action hype train is a little off rails. Now, why did they add this kind of title? Is very disheartening to see, basically. But why? Like, a lot of other journalists or actual journalists, I'm talking about, like people on from the gaming side of the world, they're all praising this game and saying it's actually very, very amazing. But why is Screen Rant saying this? Let's dive into it. All right. In the role of the Destined One, Black Myth Wukong takes players on a cinematic story-driven experience in an action RPG based on adaptation of the Journey to the West, using dynamic combat and skill to defeat formidable enemies, cunning spirits, and the mythic Yaogai. Yaogai are, I think, they're akin to demons. Players traverse through breathtaking landscapes from lush forests to towering mountains and mystical temples. While there are elements of great design by developer game science, engaging narrative and varied boss fight, especially Black Myth Wukong, also presents issues that can severely impact the gameplay and the experience and reliability of the game. So, they're saying that there are issues that will severely impact the gameplay, experience, and reliability of the game. Taking into account controversies with the current modern gaming audience, so I'm sorry, I just cringe at this. Who's the modern gaming audience? There's no modern game audience, guys. This is a myth. Okay, there's no such thing as modern gaming audience. What you see modern is people who are clinically online, who have nothing better to do than shout on Twitter, shout on Instagram, shout on whatever social media they use about certain political aligned topics in the games, while not actually playing said games they are talking about. There's no such thing as modern audience. Literally, any game that is coming out for modern game audience have colossally failed. All of them. Like, there's literally no exception. And expectations of Souls-like games, whether Black Myth Wukong lives up to its hype, is questionable at best. So, the pros: combat is fluid and fun, cinematography can be breathtaking at times, great diversity in items and mechanics. Game performance is unpolished, lacking in inclusivity and diversity. Excuse me, but what the fuck? How is that a con? What the fuck do you mean inclusivity and diversity? It's based on the novel Journey to the West. Where the fuck do you put that in? Are you insane? Also, just saying this means that you are shitting on a deep, rich, old lore and culture of the Chinese culture, which is the way of the West. How dare you, good sir or madam, whoever the fuck wrote this. Okay, let's continue. Gameplay becomes repetitive over time. So there really isn't, like, the only con I'm seeing here is the unpolished game performance. That's it. These two are what? A cinematic masterpiece. Continue. A cinematic masterpiece with poor performance. In its optimal settings, Black Myth Wukong is a cinematic masterpiece with stunning and captivating visuals that truly immerse you in its world. It has achieved high amounts of detail and beauty in the mundane, as well as as its vast landscapes, from the reflection in rippling water to capturing the veins on every single tiny leaf of flora surrounding you. It's a shame that, due to its appalling performance, it isn't possible to see and appreciate these visuals. Alright, fair enough. These fatal flaws consist of frequent stuttering, severe lag, desynced audio, and terrible frame rates. Aside from the frustrating amount of stuttering, the frequent cutting of audio also heavily impacts your experience, especially during boss fights if you're relying on audio cues. Alright. Hey, I can give him this. I give them this. With the recommended specs for the game that should allow for optimal performance, many areas from Chapter 2 onwards are entirely unplayable and become only marginally better with the lowest graphic settings. Note: Black Myth can recommend a medium processor. i5. The recommended processor which I own and use to test the game is Intel Core i7. Alright. As it is currently, unless these issues are subject to change in an upcoming patch, I don't see many players being able to run Black Myth Wukong if it's this problematic on the recommended specs. Should game science fix these issues, it could certainly change some final scoring. That's okay. This is, like, seriously, from the first con, I agree. This is a perfectly well-adjusted, objective concern regarding the game. Now let's get into the bad thing. Combat is engaging and addictive, but I thought you said it's repetitive. Anyway, one of the best features of Black Myth Wukong is its combat, showcasing an extensive variety of abilities that players can select from and hone. In the main menu, you can put your levels, known as sparks, into several categories. This consists of everything from foundation skills like stamina, martial arts, and survival, to staff stances, mysticism, spells, and more. At first glance, this can seem overwhelming, as players have so much to consider when designing their general combat style. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing, as it allows you to truly customize and create a build a build that best fits your playstyle. The level system allows for so much freedom, and players can also reset their spots and redistribute them whenever they please. So it really isn't repetitive. Like, I don't understand this. What he's saying right now doesn't make the gameplay repetitive unless the bosses have the same moveset every single time. So maybe that could be the case, though. From what I'm seeing, the game looks amazing, by the way. As for how the combat performs itself, players only use a staff as their main weapon, which is clearly an intentional move by Gaming Science, wanting players to have a pure melee-focused fighting experience. And that Sun Wukong used his staff. Bro, does this person know Sun Wukong? He literally have his staff, that extends. Hello? That's the main reason they make the music, because Sun Wukong used the staff every single time. With the ability and skills available aside from your weapon, and with all the varied combos and sense that players can channel through their staff, combat isn't repetitive or boring, but extremely fun, engaging, and satisfying. I don't understand. If the combat isn't repetitive, then how can the gameplay be repetitive? I'm still trying to understand this. Let's read ahead. One unique feature that Black Myth Wukong introduced is that there is no blocking or parrying system aside from a spell with a cooldown, making you rely solely on dodging. While this is an integral skill in many Souls-like games, not having any other means for defense forces the players to learn how and when to effectively deal damage while keeping themselves safe. This vulnerability adds a challenging layer to boss fight, penalizing players who have mastered the skill. Each spell ability has a unique effect. Okay. The main downside to how combat performs is that most light attacks feel somewhat weightless and static, but that's what light attacks are, and can be spam click to take enemies down. Okay, what's the problem? While this isn't the case with bosses, it is mainly the heavy attacks and combat that feels impactful and inflicting damage for their uses. Well, yeah, light attacks should not feel wait, light attacks should feel weightless because it's a light attack. I mean, what? Moreover, there seems to be no stealth-based ability that would thematically fit in the realm of the Souls-like world. I would have enjoyed being able to sneak up behind enemies and deal critical hits with my stealth, or climb up onto higher ground and deal a quiet jump attack. This seems like somewhat a missed opportunity given the landscape environment surrounding you. Yeah, I kind of agree with this, but Sun Wukong is basically used deceit more than stealth, I would say. Black Myth Wukong does not make use of its environment. While Black Myth Wukong did a beautiful job of creating an immersive and stunningly captivating environment with a vast landscape, the main criticism lies with its interactive limitation. The majority of the landscape cannot be utilized, limiting players to mobility and maneuverability while exploring. So it's not an open world, it's more linear, which I think a lot of Souls-like players would appreciate this. Considering that the Distant One is a monkey, Black Myth Wukong missed a wealth of opportunity and exploration that would have transported the game into a much richer and fun experience when it comes to mobility and movement. Again, they want to make the game linear, which I think a lot of people from Elden Ring did not like how big the world was, and they wanted things to be more linear, and I agree with them. I think they're gonna go with Lies of P. Lies of P is more linear than explorative, so yeah. The environment makes it far more tedious to get to certain bosses. Again, the inability to use the terrain to your advantage and demonstrate parkour abilities is a huge shame when the world appears to be so interactive. The restriction of movement make gameplay fairly linear. Yeah, that's what I said. In which the environment purely serves as a means to get from place to place with pretty views in the background. Sure, this is very acceptable, by the way. I don't know why this person mentioned this. This is a very acceptable thing. Some games are open world, some games are linear. It is what it is. It is what it is. I understand that he wants to use the environment, but sometimes this is how things are. Chapter 2 does provide much explorative and open space, feeling more like an RPG, but it's fairly vacant at the Destined One's lack of maneuverability, and mobility is all the same, but an expanded landscape on the surface there's a lot more to see, but instead the environment makes it more tedious to get to certain mountains while unable to travel properly. It's fine. Bosses are equally shallow. Moreover, bosses also don't seem to use their environment very much, except Lingshu and Witchglade Noble bosses in Chapter 1, but even so to a limited degree. Boss areas serve as nothing more than an arena. It is extremely contrarian to how the arenas are designed, so as they appear to have unity but don't at all. I don't understand. Like, this is just he's just nitpicking at this point. I don't know the author. Environmental choices don't work out. Another problem with the Black Myth environmental design is the placement of shrines. These vitalists point are inconsistently played, showcasing a lack of considered strategic thought on how players can. This is just nitpicking. I'm just gonna move on from the environment. Enemies and boss are thrilling but repetitive. Yeah, this is the repetitive thing. I think this is what he meant, that every boss has the same moveset or are close to it. It's fine. I'm just skipping ahead because I know he's gonna nitpick. They're gonna nitpick more. It largely lacks inclusion. This is it. This is what I was waiting for. Largely lacks inclusion and representation. Black Myth Wukong characters lack diversity. While my analysis and review of Black Myth Wukong remain focused on gameplay, it's important to mention the controversy surrounding the game studio and the reports of misogyny and sexism from developers. Wow. Playing as a oh, this is a woman. Okay, now it makes sense. Playing as a female gamer allowed me to notice issues surrounding inclusion and representation. As far as Chapter 1 and 2, while characters are clearly fictitious and fantastical creatures, there were no female or feminine NPCs, enemies, or boss present. The only exception, if you can call it female, is a boss named Mother of Stones in Chapter 2, which is nothing more than a still glowing rock with no ability being guarded by other enemies. So, I don't... wait, let me get this straight. So you want us to kill women in games? I thought you guys are against women abuse. What's going on here? Anyway, so why is this a problem? Like, just let me get this straight. Why is this a problem? So they didn't want to make female bodies, or if you've read the book, the novel, maybe they're trying to get as much closeness to the novel creatures and entities that Sun Wukong fought against. Have you thought about that? The lack of diversity and inclusivity resonates with the misogynistic comments reported to have been made by the developers, which expressed disdain for women playing their games. Well, can you blame them? I mean, look at what you're complaining about. Can you blame them? Like, honestly, I don't know, man. Like, can you actually blame them for what they're doing when literally, because they just didn't have any women in it, look what you're talking about. Look what you're complaining about. Although Black Myth Wukong does have truly enjoyable moments, the underlying feeling that women aren't welcome in this world are present throughout my gameplay experience. Whoa. It's worth noting the game is based on the novel Journey to the West. Oh, she knows! Which does consist of a few important female characters. To not include any women or to only include a few in an adaptation meant for a modern audience quite this. Oh my... Oh, I'm cringing so hard, dude. I'm cringing so hard. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? If the game is based on the novel and the novel doesn't include women, then it's being honest and close to the source material, which is fantastic. This is how games should be. Everything. Why should they include women when the original novel didn't have them? That doesn't make any sense. What are these journalists on about, man? I just don't get it. Who the modern audience? I don't want this. I don't want this. I know a lot of people don't want this. Every single time a game is made for modern audience, the game flopped as fuck. Like, it just dropped dead. It didn't even manage to come out of the production factory, and it's alive. Like, there's just no life for these games when they come out, when they get released. It's been proven time and time again that games, when the game is announced that it's for modern audience, they flop hard. People are not buying it. Why can't you, this person who wrote this, can't you understand that? While this doesn't take away from the exhilaration and fun of boss fights themselves, women fans of Souls-like game may have a different perspective, especially given that, according to reports, the developer also suggests that women aren't capable of enjoying or being skilled at these type of games. Well, yeah. Listen. The amount of Souls-like gamers who are women are insanely insignificant to the amount that are men. You can see the report out there, man. You can read them as much as you want. It's fairly obvious. I'm sure there are women who enjoy Souls-like games, but they're going for the majority here. They want to make money out of this game. What the fuck are you on about, woman? The irony behind this sentiment is that, of course, before I continue, also, there's a lot of women who enjoy Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring, Lies of P, Sekiro, and all these games, and they don't have a lot of women in them. Elden Ring, literally, all the mobs that you fight are men. There's literally no women there, except for a few boss fights like Melina, except for some boss fights like Melina, there are a very negligible amount of women in the game. It was as well as all Dark Souls games, and there's never been any complaint about that. So what the fuck are you on about? The irony behind the sentiment is that Black Myth Wukong is among the easiest of Souls-like games and may have overestimated its ability to hang with the terms of difficulty. But you just said that it's difficult for some. This person is insanely stupid. While thematically and stylistically it undoubtedly falls under this category, it does not quite fit the bill and the technical skills required, such as achieved by games like Elden Ring, Sekiro, Shadows Twice, and many more. They are very good, despite its flaws. Screw your flaws. With the potential to have been one of the best Souls-like games in portraying a beloved cultural gem of a novel, I assume you say that, but you contradict yourself way too much. Unless you address and fix and consider serious content of other similar, no, it doesn't. While it has exceptional features including its visual combat and many as well as a company plotline, it's not enough to warrant a better score, given the most assured lie in the performance diversity and wasted environmental factors. Alright, so I'm gonna give her the performance ones, but the diversity and wasted environmental factors seems like a you problem. That would have been transformed into somewhat great. There are integral features that are unfundamental in all RPGs, especially since like one compared blah blah blah. Who was the author of this? Who the hell is the author, man? Who's the author? Oh, she didn't put her name on it. Yeah. I can guess why she didn't put her name on it. Is there no way I can see the author? Nah. Anywho. By Screen Rant team, yeah. Anywho, so there you have it. The game is a 3 out of 5 according to Screen Rant because it lacks diversity and the environment is not suitable for them. So the thing, listen, I don't mind giving a fair share to these people because in the cons she did mention that the game performance is unpolished, which is a very reasonable con for the game, but the other two that dropped the score to a 3 out of 5 is insanely stupid because she did say the gameplay is repetitive, but then she talked about the environment more than the gameplay in the review. She had to mention the lack of diversity and inclusion. How does that, I just gotta understand, I just gotta know, how does that affect your gameplay? How is not having women for you to butcher and kill affect your gameplay? Please explain this to me. Listen, guys, this is a personal preference of mine. I do not like to kill women in my video games. Okay? Assassin's Creed was insanely cringeworthy when I killed women guards. I just don't like it. Okay? I don't like to include female NPCs in my gameplay. I don't want to kill them, dude. I don't want to kill them. I don't want to fight them. Maybe a boss fight, sure. But to kill them, like normally brutalize them, it's just not my thing. Okay? Hey, if they want to include them, if you like seeing women dying in your games, then hey, by all means include them. But you know, different strokes for different folks. Anyway, so this is the review that a lot of people were talking about, and honestly I saw it and I had to talk about it because it's insane how much these people want to fight against this gaming company. You're not gonna win, brother. You're not gonna win because this game is gonna be released in China and Sun Wukong is insanely popular there. This character gets used in manhwas, mangas, this character is used in Korean mangas, in Korean comics, sorry, Chinese comics, Japanese comics. It's insanely known and it's very popular. You're not gonna win this one. Just roll over and sit down, okay? Just sit over there, sit in the corner. Anyway, so this has been my reaction to this well, I'm not gonna say shitty ass review because it did have some good points, but the thing is, it had some okay good points, and then it had like insanely stupid points. Like it just outweighs it, let me know, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment down below. Please don't forget to subscribe and like if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos from me. I've recently got out of a break, so appreciate you guys if you can just help me get back up there. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye bye.